So, Death to Gunpla. Concept simple. Not really, though. You vote how to blow something up, how to destroy the kits that we build for $1 a vote. When you go to the store, it's 100 points for a vote, but $1 gets you 100 points. And actually, just by subscribing, you get 50 points. By following, you get 50 points. By doing a lot of different things, you can get points. Just by watching, you get a point for every. You get 10 points for every 5 minutes you watch, I believe it is. So tons of ways to make points. So you can actually probably get one vote in free. What we're working on this week is a Zudah. So we did a custom paint, and we sealed some seams. I'm going to show you how to seal some seams for the newbies if you have trouble with that. Not one of my favorite things, but I got it done. So we'll do some seam sealing, and I'll show you how I did the little bit of camo on this kit. It's not really camo, but special paint job, custom paint job, not the base paint job you see on the cover, but inside here there's a little bit of a customization where it has these cool markings. So I'll show you how we mask off for that. We might even throw a little airbrush in here. I'm going to ask you on the next videos what you guys want to see done, like airbrushing, pre-shaded maybe, or hand painted. I think it's either the two options I'm looking at, either hand painted for the next one or pre-shaded. So that'll be up to you guys. I'll have you guys vote during the week. But basically with the Zudah, you guys are going to be deciding how it gets destroyed. But the catch is...
11:59 p.m.
Thank you. Monday, 11:59 p.m., this kit will go on eBay. And the reserve will be $25. Or if you guys vote more than $25, you will push the reserve up. So if you get 50 votes in, your combined votes of 50 or more, that will be what the starting bid will be. So it'll be harder for somebody to buy this kit, making it more likely to get destroyed the way you guys picked it to get destroyed. So our three options for destruction are A, slow death, wrapped around with small firecrackers and just popping off. B, we fill the whole chest cavity with gunpowder and blow that thing sky high. Or C, we run it over with the car again, so we didn't get to see that one. So you make the vote, you pick them. Check out TheGundamKitchen.LIVE right up there in the corner where you can go and make your votes at the store. A couple things are in the store to buy too if you like. So check that out. And today I have my guest. We got Biggie Pauls, who never likes to be on camera, so we got to get that man a mask.
How y'all doing? Hey, hey, hey.
We got my man Rob.
Yo.
And both of these guys are customers. And I am the chef around here. Real name Irad, but they call me a chef around here, so this is the Gundam Kitchen. And I've been owning the Gundam Kitchen for almost 5 years now. So definitely, if you're in Blackwood, New Jersey, or nearby, Philly, Delaware, North Jersey, definitely come through. We've had people from way further. I even had a guy visit when he visited his girlfriend in D.C. from Germany. Came away from Germany, visited his girlfriend. I was like, I gotta go to the Gundam store. And rolled all the way up here.
From D.C.
From D.C.
If you're over at Comic-Con, it's only like 2 hours.
Yeah, so, especially if you traveled up.
Yeah.
Why not hit it on the way back? Especially if you're staying overnight. Sunday, we close at 6, so I'll see you at Comic-Con. I'll be there tomorrow. So I will be there probably from opening to roughly close, I guess. So I will definitely be checking you guys out. I got hooked up by one of my distributors. Thank you to them. And good time. So let's get to the Zudah here. So first off, we'll get into the seam sealing. So when I talk about sealing these seams, we are talking about, first of all, we're talking about an old kit. We're talking about like 2006 is a Zudah. This is not a new kit. The Zudah is got the old school flaw. So they actually did a really nice job of sealing the seams on this kit that I'll show you. So right down here is a big old seam. Right down the middle. What's different about modern kits, say 2012 and newer, especially like your Origin kits and stuff like that, a lot of those kits, they make all their panels go where there are, where the seam lines will actually connect where there will be a panel line. So it's not a problem, which is a very nice thing. But on this older kit, it's all up and down your kit. So here, I have sealed this seam. We will show you how to do that. So, basically, I like to go with the heavy stuff. the Tamiya cement. You will find it in the orange cap. Occasionally, I don't know where Michael gets his from, but he finds his in a white cap. Right? Where'd you get yours from? If you're in Japan, it's probably the white cap. Maybe all of Asia has it that way. But over here, this is the orange cap, and it is the hotter one, which means it melts your plastic way faster. So basically, what I like to do is get most of the excess off. I do want a good amount on there, but I don't want to like drip it all down the side of my model. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub it on the edges where I want them to seal. And I'm going to do it on both sides. So what's cool about this stuff, it's going to start melting that plastic. When that plastic melts, it's going to turn into a little plastic goo. And I want that plastic goo to kind of ooze out a little bit.
The plastic goo.
Goo.
The plastic goo made out of plastic goo.
Right.
Glue.
So, plastic cement will melt the plastic to make plastic goo. And that's what we want is goo.
Goo.
Because I want that goo to squeeze out.
What's goo with you?
What's the one? The villain Gru?
Gru?
Minions. The minions.
Oh. It is
So
Gru.
you then squeeze it hard together.
I am Gru.
Could probably put a little bit more on, but we do have a nice little bubble coming across. So we're gonna let that sit for a second to get all its gooiness together.
Yeah, I think it's important to let them know. Give it a good squeeze, get a good
Yeah.
seal. You want that stuff oozing a little bit. You want it to pop.
Yep. You want it to kind of bead up and come out the edge. So especially on this side, I actually have a nice little bead coming along here. This side, not so much. But I'll show you the next trick for that when we get to it. So, suggestion, if you're the kind of person who likes a straight build, just does it for fun, and you don't want to put like tons of time into this, this is probably not the technique for you. This technique takes a lot of time. You're going to sand this after you do this. You're going to have to prime it to see if you did it right. And then after you prime it or surface it, then you'll realize you didn't do something right. You have to go back and sand it more and put more putty down. So it's a process.
Yeah.
This is for detailed-oriented people.
Very detail-oriented people. And I think we said it the other day, and I love the way it looks. And it takes a lot of effort to get an effect that makes it look like you did nothing.
Right. So the whole goal is for your kid to look like nothing. It came out like a toy. It was built like that. It's a lot of work.
I woke up like this.
Right. You want yeah.
I will get like this.
So it's a lot of effort to put into something to get it to look really super plain.
Can I make a pun? If you want it to look seamless. But like I said, I love the look. It's just the amount of effort
Right.
for the reward, depending on what you're looking to get. Like it's a weird
Oh,
thing.
there's Zachary. I think that's Zachary. No, that's our Zach. That's Zach knows my store right there.
Right. Zach, good to see
What's
you.
up, Zach?
Good to see you. Well,
Hello.
checking in.
All right, so now I'm just gonna take the edge of the blade real quick and just run it so I can get the excess right off the top. Right, and start sanding. And this side, I'm feeling really good about it.
Was that the side that had that nice thick bead, the ooze?
Mhm.
And that's what
That's
I'm
the side
talking
we
about,
want.
man.
Yep, you want that
gotta
ooze
get
coming out. So all the little excess is getting rubbed right in there. This other side, I missed a little bit in this section because I couldn't squeeze it in that direction. So there's a little gap there. I'll show you how to fix that later. All right, so what I did is one of my customers, Fox, find him on Instagram as Fox, he gave me a bunch of these spongy things. I guess they're foam. And I just cut my sandpaper. And there's actually, they're foam discs that had glue on the one side. Mm-hmm. So I just cut my sandpaper and I put it on the glue side. And now I have a sandpaper on a foam thing, which is really nice because a lot of people talk about glue your sandpaper to popsicle sticks.
So they also make those things, like you can get them at like a dollar store or any kind of like hardware store. They make them for like the feet of chairs or furniture.
Right, yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah,
And then they have sticky on one side and then foam on the other so it won't slip and whatnot. And then next thing you know, booyah. Booyah.
So why I prefer this over the popsicle stick is the popsicle stick is a hard surface. You're going to sand really hard. This you can be really gentle and just sand at the depth you want. So have 1,000 grit on this one, 4,000 grit on this. This is
4,000
polishing.
grit. Yeah, I was gonna say, well, 4,000 grit. Like you can buff the Saturn with that thing.
So we start just sanding away on here.
Can you buff rust?
Yes, of course you can. You can buff anything with nipples.
Saturn has nipples? I mean, I guess that's a personal question to ask.
All right, I'm gonna go a little harder because that's not even taking enough off for me.
He's going hard because he's trying to get sound out of that thing.
I was just
Cover
like,
up
I
the sound.
had to refrain from the "that's what she said" joke. It was just too
There
obvious.
are children in the building.
It was too obvious.
So while he's buffing, I'd like to open a topic unrelated to the buffing and the Saturn.
You didn't raise your hand.
I saw a video about 12 and a half minutes ago. We're on for what, like 8.5 minutes or 14 minutes? Either way, I was watching the video while we started the show. But I just saw something that's got me super gassed up. They're doing a Chinese Zodiac SD cross silhouette. And it's like RX-78, but it's got like pig parts. Like on the helmet, it's got like a little like pink pig looking.
So
I guess
how does
it's
it
the
look?
year of the pig.
It sounds
looks
weird to me.
awesome, man.
Okay.
So it's not like a whole. So like the crossbone has like a little chibi like skull on it. This has a little chibi pig on it.
Huh?
And then it's got like some like ornamentation on the shield that makes it look like a Chinese calendar. And I'm feeling this thing a lot. I love SDs though.
But you know that's probably going to be like a Chinese release somewhere or something crazy.
Well, it said it was 3,300 yen, which is roughly what, $3? No,
That's
300
$30.
yen.
That's like $30.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
so that's $30. So that's definitely some kind of exclusive.
man, can't stand P-Band guys. But nonetheless, it's pretty cool.
You have to make your own FP Bandai.
Are you serious? Like, am I gonna make a little clay chibi pig?
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
I got you. I'll do the pig part.
All right, because I'm not that talented, quite frankly.
I won't argue with you.
So you know what's interesting? You just throw stuff out into the universe, and there's somebody within earshot that can do what you can.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's what's great about community. Like, I'm gonna get this Chinese Zodiac Gunpla made one way or another.
Oh,
What
yeah.
Gundam was it all based on?
It was on an RX-78.
All right, so pretty good. But I have a dip here where, so everywhere there was a problem was where I couldn't squeeze it in that direction. I could squeeze it straight, but where the seam was, it went on an angle and I couldn't squeeze it in both directions. So both spots are on the angle where I had a problem. So some people would go with more of this on top. Some people would use like dissolve putty or something like that. I like Vallejo's plastic putty. What I like about this is water-based. It's not hot, so you're not going to start melting nothing. And you can thin this, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So let me grab something to thin this on, and I'm going to apply it on there. Be right back.
Should we stand here quietly and just let them sit in obscurity listening to the going-ons in the store, or should we talk? Really? You're going to do me like that? That's ridiculous. Little do you understand that I can talk to myself. Oh, look, who's back.
Yeah. I mean, I was just letting them stare into my eyes. I could still talk to you.
All right, so this stuff comes out thicker than toothpaste.
It's such a tiny little tube.
Yep. So you get that, and then a little bit of water with it. You mix that together, you get a nice liquidy thing that you can easily spread on.
Would you say less is more with water and
Yeah,
mixture?
build it up. I like it a little runny, but not like, I still need some body to it. So what was the other one you were telling me about? Somebody told you about milliput and...
Yeah, so I used milliput, and then I put a little bit of thin cement in there, and it gives you a nice little slurry. It will ruin your paint pot or whatever you mix on, so, you know, I mean, it definitely, not ruin, but it takes work to kind of, like, get it off after it hardens, and you want to use the stuff to fill the hole, and it takes time, and, you know, long and short of it is that, yeah, cleanup on it's not exactly super easy, but it really does make a good product. I used the super fine put, milliput, and it just made like this slurry of awesomeness that really did the trick in seconds. So that's what I like to use. It is super sticky at first before you add the... So the milliput really does stick to your fingers, so you want to use a little bit of water on your fingers to keep the milliput from sticking. But then once you get that thin cement in there, you really do need to apply that with either a brush, a Q-tip, not a Q-tip, a
Device.
toothpick, a putty knife of some kind, a craft tool, something, a device, yes.
All right. So remember, guys, feel free to ask us questions. You know, we're here for you guys. Talk to us. Buy some tickets. Destroy something. We gotta see the Zudah blow up. I mean, that's what happened in with it. Test type didn't do too well.
Doesn't the Zudah like totally just self-destruct or like?
Well, but it pushes itself too hard and they blow up because it was a test engine.
Right. So.
I'm sure Zach could give us a whole detailed explanation. Of where are you, Zach? We need our history right here. I believe it appeared in Igloo and in probably some mangas. So we will let that dry a little bit. Who we got there? David,
Nothing.
what's up, David?
I keep seeing this blue color, and it makes me think of the uniforms that the Navy just got rid of, like the Digi blue.
So speaking of camo, good segue there. As you can see, this is the plain version of this, but they have some special marking versions that have these cool markings, camo design on them. And I wanted to go for that.
You got it upside down right now.
Oh, because I fixed it and I forgot. So.
Upside down.
So the really cool markings here. And the funny thing is, I got a store and I ran out of tape. So I will finish these markings off, but I will show you how to do this for people who are interested in how to apply camos, the same principle for camo. And I'll give you a description of the paint process I used. So
is that like, before you get into it, like I'm looking at the colors, and again, I know that because you seamed up some of the pieces and whatnot, you had to do some stuff to the paint, right? That's not the natural.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
So this kit started out this weird, as we saw, this weird purpley color. So after sanding and then trying to get all the glue and the seams and all the sanding cleaned up, instead of going straight to primer, I went to what's called surfacer. So this is Mr. Surfacer 1200. They make them in like 1000 and 1500. But basically, a surfacer is kind of like a primer that you can sand. It's meant to be sanded. So it's meant to put a little bit of work in. It'll fill in all those like really thin scratches you have on your surface, and you can sand it. So that's what I did. I used it for that. And being gray was nice to go over the purplish color. You could easily see it go down. I definitely always suggest priming, surfacing. Always hit it in a color that's opposite of the color that you're working with.
So if you're working with a dark kit, go with a light color, like
or
a gray,
something
or
you
maybe
can see.
white. And then vice versa, if you're working on a white kit, you want to prime it in a color like gray, so you can see that it's coverage and all that.
But you still have to think, because your next layer, you don't want it to be the same color again.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't want to prime in black and then try to...
Spray black. Or prime in white and try to paint white.
Priming in white is on a white kit, that's an exercise in futility.
So, I surfaced it, sanded down my surfacing. So once you surface it, you get to see all your mistakes. That's what's great about priming or surfacing. You have a flat palette, you can see what needs to be done. So I went in and cleaned it up some more. Then, since I already put down gray, and I want to make sure I could see what I was doing, I went to Stynylrez in black. Stynylrez is a water-based primer. So the one before was a lacquer-based, stinks to high hell. Now we're at a water-based. I put like 2 drops of white in here, so it would be a very, very dark gray or slightly off black. And the reason I wanted a dark color is because the Zudah has all these vents. Tons and tons of deep cut vents. So I wanted to make sure I was getting that black in there. So in case when I hit the blue, if it didn't get in there, it would be black down there, not a light color. So this is a trick that you'll see a lot in miniature painting, where they will almost always prime or base their models in black, just in case they don't get to a deep recess it's already dark like a shadow, so you don't have to worry about it. We have a little bit of audience members. So, so you want to, so I primed it with a dark gray, basically. So I added a couple drops of white to this. And this kind of also brings up the idea of basing, or undercoating, which you don't hear too much in Gunpla. And I actually had to look it up this morning because I want to make sure I say my terms right. You know what an undercoat is?
So like I think about undercoat and like, no, I don't. Why don't you tell me? I could have BS my way through it, and you would have been like, that's exactly right. But the fact of the matter is, why don't you share?
All right, so undercoat. The idea of an undercoat is
it like underwear?
kind of.
You get a second coat.
So your base coat is
Always
usually
not gonna
your
be
prime color, right? So when you look at miniature painting, usually paint it. If you want something to be mostly red, you paint it in red as your base coat. Then you do your highlights and your shading. In Gundam, we would just base the red, and we fairly much be done. We might put our panel lines would be our kind of shading. The undercoat is a coat that goes under that helps with the vibrance of the above coat.
I got you. So like if you wanted to take like a red and make it tonal,
Right.
you might go with like an orange underneath it to
Or a
have
brown.
Right. Okay,
Right.
right. And that's why we use brown panel liner markers
Right.
on the red paint. On the
So,
red.
and you think about colors that are really hard, like orange and yellows. If you throw those colors over black, you're gonna get a muddy color. It's not gonna look good. If you throw it over white, it might be too bright. It's not exactly the color you want. You have to hit the coat on top of a coat of orange and tone it down to the exact color. But if you put it over a brown or a tan, you'll probably end up with the color you were looking for right off the bat.
So undercoats, you want to stay more with like a neutral color, and then you want to play with like whether you want it to be a cool neutral color
Right.
or
So right. This is how you can mess with
warmer
your
color.
hues and stuff like that that'll radiate through the paint. So, and a lot of people really suggest that you put on thin layers, and they should be. If you thin out a layer, it'll be a little bit transparent. So, you want to put a couple layers down, but the undercolor should radiate through a little bit. So in this case, I went from that very dark gray, and then I went to this pretty dark blue. Now this dark blue is going to be using my camouflage, but I also realized this dark blue would be great underneath the light blue I was going with next.
right.
So I put the
you're
light
picking
blue.
up some blue, and then you're getting that nice. So you're getting a little coolness out of
Right.
the blue. I'm with that.
Opposed to putting the light blue over black, which is a muddy down the blue. So that's kind of the
So if you
idea.
had taken the light blue and put it over the black, you would have probably ended up with that shade of blue.
It would have
And
been
then you would
that
have
severe, but it would have been like muddy.
Right, and then you would have had to bring it up again with another
Right.
layer of paint.
Yeah, a couple of layers of
time,
coat. Yep. So this gives you a little bit of depth in your paint on purpose. So what we did was I went to the blue, and I used it straight out the bottle, maybe a drop or two of water because I like it to be a little thin. I've been pushing my pressure up because a lot of guys who I follow who've been at my store come through and show me a lot of their airbrushing techniques. They're running on higher pressure, so I've been pushing about 25 psi lately.
Now that's with the pre-mix like mechas.
Right, so this is pre-mix. I still put like 2 drops of water in there, and maybe a drop of.
So this was they had a couple
Very
different
close.
shades,
Yep.
but it's just very similar.
So very similar as the Navy's Digi Camo. In our shades, actually, really close. So,
You got it right side up this time.
and then I put like a drop of flow improver in here. Not necessary.
So
Depend on the
flow
humidity.
improver's like what? Just like another like type of thinner, I guess, or
Flow improver. And ran that right through here. Get this nice blue. Then I went and masked it. So when you do camo, usually the color that you want, say we're doing the traditions, right? The main color of the whole tank you see is green. The clouds are usually in brown and black. So what you want to do is you want to start with either that black or brown. I would suggest start with the black. Lay a coat of black down. Then, however you're masking. So if you have some mask that's already cut out in clouds, or you use a silly putty and you're just making your own shapes, or whatever your mask technique is. Drop your clouds down, a few clouds here and there. Which, after you do that, you'll spray the brown over that, And now you would have, if you peeled off the masking tape, you would have black clouds all over your brown. But you don't leave that masking tape on. You're going to add a little bit more masking tape clouds onto your brown. Just a few here and there. Then you're going to do another coat, and you're going to put green on top of that.
Green?
Green, because we're doing army camo. So now when you pull all your masking off, the black and brown will be the clouds, and green will be the majority of the color. So that's how you mask. The color you will see the least will go on the bottom, the color that will be the most is on the top. So that's what I did here. I painted the whole kit in the dark blue. Then majority of the kit's going to be this light blue, so like the head's light blue. All over the place is light blue. As you can see here, majority of this kit's going to end up being light blue. So I then took the kit, masked it off, and then sprayed light blue. And we will peel back all this masking and see how it works now. See if I did a good job. This is another tedious type of hobbying thing, but the rewards are really nice. As you peel off, if you did it right and you peel this off, you're like, oh, that looks good. Hopefully, I did it all right.
Time for the big reveal.
Or you're not going to.
And do take your time in the peeling and the...
Yeah. Like you should definitely let your paint dry. If somehow you oversprayed and your paint sealed to your tape, you should score it first, so you're not peeling the paint right off. So already that's looking really good. Really happy with that section. All right, guys, get those votes in.
Yeah, it would be a sin to have to blow this kid up with all this work.
I want to see it get blown up. I actually want to see it get blown up.
I'm a naysayer. I'm telling you, I don't like to see this stuff die when it looks good. When you're putting in the work and it's looking good, I'm like a no-go. I want to see this stuff live forever. Plus, I still think if we hit it with my car may suffer.
So remember, all you have to do is go to TheGundamKitchen.LIVE and place your vote in for how you want to see us destroyed. So that one was a little fuzzy. I might have to go back and fix that one up. So what you want to do is always like run a toothpick or the back of a brush or something like that along the edges and make sure they're sealed down. Apparently right here I didn't seal them down enough. It's a little fuzzy, but I will try to correct that. But here we go.
All that work to have it just smashed by a car. Filled with black powder. And
so this is the backpack.
So one of the things I learned when I was taping, because again, it's super tedious and it was driving me crazy, but I didn't want to have to redo it like 15 times because I over-taped. Now, I know you were in a, somehow you were in a tape shortage and whatnot, but the fact is like, over-tape, over-layer, because, once it's covered, you won't run into that bleeding problem, those issues, so...
Well, the problem was at the edges, so that was just not pushing them down hard enough, but this one came out good. Really clean right there.
So it makes such a big difference. It's such a nice look.
So here is a section that was not actually camo, but just a little color separation. This also works great for those HDs that don't have enough color separation. Just tape off and spray. You get all your color separation at once. What are you working on today, Paul? Do another...
Today I finished the second Nobel. Completed. So continuing on the Dio project.
My turn now?
So just to give you an idea how this looks. Right on the chest here. Looking really good. Another tip I once learned from a wise man. Cut if you know you're gonna pull your kit apart. Like I'm the kind of person who I like to build my kit first, decide what I want to do with it, then I'll pull it apart and prep it for paint or whatever, or seal seams, whatever I gotta do. If you're that kind of person who likes to build first, then a good idea is to cut the post so that you can easily pull stuff back apart. So all through this kit I cut my post, and it's a little tighter now because of the paint, but hopefully you guys can see that. That is cut on an angle. So I just took my nippers. Don't use your guide hands on this because you might chip them. But your stronger nippers, cut on an angle, and you can then easily pull the stuff off or sand it down, either way. And that way you're able to pull stuff apart without destroying it. And then if you want to make it super tight, you can just put a little dab of glue in there and it'll be snug as can be.
Yeah, what I like to do with that is the same thing where I cut the post, but also I like to stretch out the receiving post with like a pin vise or the back edge of my rate,
I did
my
that,
alpha. Yep. So I kind of like just chamfer the hole.
So yep, all Paul's talking about is put your knife blade in there and turn it around. Kind of will destroy your knife blade a little bit because it's not the way it's supposed to be used, but it works really well. You can see all those little flakes. That's just making the hole a little bigger. So this way it makes it a lot easier when it's time to have to pull this all apart.
Yeah, you don't want to have to pull this thing apart. And important lesson for those of you that don't do a lot of painting, check for fit before you paint, because you're going to have to pull a kit apart. You're going to realize that you're going to be scratching layers, and if your coat's not down good enough, if you didn't top coat it or anything, you will destroy paint and time, and you can't do it in sections. You got to really focus in on, like, kind of have a plan.
Yeah, so that's definitely what, especially if you're seam sealing, you need a plan. Because once you seam seal, you can't pull it apart and paint it in sections anymore. You're not painting single pieces anymore. You're painting whole things. So I had to have a plan. So like all this up here is taped off because that's going to be silver later. So I really have to think. You have to really think it up because not much going back once you seal them up really good. I mean, you can maybe pry it open, but you might break something.
And it's the whole taping and sealing, and it comes back to that same thing I said earlier, in my opinion, and you all can think what you want, but to get the best, like, it's like a really, really good job done on a kit. You almost don't even know the amount of work that goes into it, but sometimes to get something very, very, like, factory line, to make something look like it came off a factory line, it takes a lot of planning, a lot of prep, a lot of, like, plotting to make sure that you get, like, that type of product, and you don't get much of a result except for just a really clean, nice-looking kit, but tons of work goes into it to make it look effortless.
So that came out pretty nice.
So talking about people that don't plan things out and like don't bring all the supplies in that they want to build with and needed to pick something up from your store, what do these cost?
$350 each. You're buying all those?
And he's got a fistful of dynamite for those of you that can't see. They're $350 a piece, and he's got like 14 of them.
I mean, so I forgot the one black pin that I wanted to use, and I've been making a mess with my marker. So it's like, oh, I'll get one that'll look good, and then I saw all these other colors that I don't have at home. So why not?
Because now IRAD doesn't have any in the store. That's why not.
There's still some over there.
Oh, okay.
I just have some of them.
Okay.
And Chelsea's at work, so she can't stop me.
That's the trick. And then you just keep them in the garage until she's not looking, and then you slowly bring them in.
The only reason I'm hiding these from Chelsea is so she can't use them and steal them all.
Hey, just a thought. We are recording this on the internet. I don't think that they're hidden from Chelsea anymore.
You would be surprised.
Huh.
Like, I talked shit last time. She was watching. Didn't catch it. She's like, wait, what?
And again, this is still living in the universe. You can go back and watch last week.
It won't. Won't happen.
All right.
I love her, but she's
The internet's no place to hide from your wife.
I'll send timestamps of when she's supposed to watch.
Lincoln.
All right, so we have, this says dry now. Get the nice little sand on here. Now when you're sanding, you want, like, this is not the time to use the metal file, because you will end up sanding away the curvature of the model. So you have to use the right sanding products at the right time. A lot of people ask me, like, oh, I sanded it and it's all, like, scratched up now. A, you're probably using like 400 grit. But B, you have to sand in sequence. So you have to go like 1,000, 2,000. If you went back to power.
So now, are you running with the 4,000 paper or the 2,000?
Yeah, I'm finishing up with it.
Okay. Yeah, 4,000 is a big number, but it's giving you the effect.
So if you're totally unaware, sandpaper, the lower the grit, the rougher it is. So
Right.
100's insane. Don't ever put that on your Gundam.
100 will rip the skin off your flesh.
Right.
3 good passes.
So I don't think you should ever have anything more than. You should start probably at 400, if that, maybe 600 really. But and that's probably like a metal file. It's probably around 600. Hobby metal file. Not just like those
a
bastard
rasp.
files.
Yeah.
Just rip your Gundam apart.
It could rip up a
We
round.
should take
It'll
it to
get the
Jim's
rust off
shop and put it through like the sanding
belt
belt.
sander?
Yeah. That's a good
Next
death
week on Death to Gunpla, just smoothly sand its head, or like a Dremel with like a little disc on it. That's like 500 grit. That'll just.
All right, so that's looking pretty good. Now we could prime that and see if actually it was accurate.
Where's the booth?
The booth is here. So we got the nice little portable booth designed by our buddy
We'll see.
All right, it's getting a little hot. I was trying to wear that Gundam Kitchen Live merch, but it was a little hot in here. So that can be found in my merch store there. That hoodie with the
It's a circle.
I'm gonna prime this one just in black just to see, so give you guys a little visual, because I don't want to spray this heavier stuff because this is not hooked up to the vents.
Enzia. The assassin. Enzia.
So there's a mask that I got yesterday, like one of those masks for people coughing. So that way you don't have like the disposable one, you know? That's just for me.
So wait, so you have a mask.
So this was a squeeze bottle, but I dropped it yesterday and broke
It's like the coffee mask.
Right. But now all your bacteria is in said mask, so I can clean them. I'm supposed to. Now I gotta do laundry.
Yeah. You should always have to do laundry. Why would
Alright,
you ever
let's
not
see how
have to do
well we
laundry?
did this. We got a problem. Planning.
Even if I'm not the
I
one.
forgot the.
Polycat.
Yep.
You're gonna remove the knobs off of it.
Just glue it in. Yeah, we could do that way. I was gonna. Let me get the other part.
I don't know if you know this. We're either going to.
Nobody's about to destroy it. It could get saved. So I gotta do it
Nobody's
right.
voted to destroy it.
Nope.
It could get saved, but
I think this is gonna be Save a Gundam show. It's in Death to Gunpla. It's gonna be
Right.
Save a Gunpla.
How to save a life.
We're just gonna test this to see how well we did with this. So we just want to prime it in a base prime. You should always have a section to test your spray. Oh, what do we get there? We just got a donation. Oh,
Not
wow, I nailed this. On this one side, I nailed it.
well. Show them first. I mean,
So definitely this side is completely nailed. Very happy with that side. We do have to let it dry. It might shrink back a little bit. And this side is pretty good, but that same angle that was the problem before that I tried to fix up with the putty is still a little bit low. So that would be a case where I probably put a little more putty, sand that down, and then reprime it
nice.
or surface it.
Now slide it over here.
I'm glad because I'm over here just messing stuff up.
Nope. Nope, you got it. I mean, on the one side for sure.
All right, so while we have this out, this is a very clever a little oversized, but very clever booth. But it's so light, you can just throw this in the corner. It's made from poster board and what do you call this kind of tape?
Like painter's tape?
Painter's tape.
But like, when you say poster board, like science, like science?
Like dollar store poster board.
Oh.
Yeah. And then all it has is, I don't know where you got this flange from to find out, but it has a flange with a computer fan. It's super quiet. We usually have it piped with a dryer hose to a bucket with a bunch of filters in there. And it has a fan at the end of the bucket to keep the suction going. And it stays quiet. Works amazing for water-based stuff because all you really want to do is get the particles out the air. More stuff with more fumes, it does all right with. You might want to use a stronger fan.
As it's drying,
You can also do like bathroom fans.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Bathroom fans.
Yeah,
The ceiling bathroom fans?
So mine before I used somebody built for me was like one of those 5-gallon packing those containers you put in your those big things we cut a hole in the back. You put the fan in there from a bathroom, shoot it right out a window.
You might actually be good on this.
All right, so
take a look.
That was very successful.
Take a look.
This is actually better than most of the ones I did myself. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So I nailed the one I did on camera, which is really good. So yeah, that's coming out good. It's still drying, and wherever you see that little really shiny part still drying. But.
Right, I was going to say that really shiny part was throwing your eye and maybe picking up the angle, and it's so slight for the viewers at home. You know, Chef thought maybe he missed it, but when you look at it on second thought, closer glance, you can see.
That seam was running right down here. It's gone.
Oh, you're good.
So that is how you seam a kit. And like I said, this is a very focused project because I just messed up and forgot to reattach it to the part that it belonged to. So it's either I think
you did good.
Yeah, too bad I did really good. So either we're gonna have to rip it apart, or we'll have to glue that part in, which might be actually a smarter move. But yeah, that's how you do that. And you guys have seen masking. So I will continue to mask off the rest of this kit. And we will get that all nice and popping. Of course,
really
we
like
would
the word popping today.
do I?
Everything is popping.
Popping? All right. And then, of course, we will have to do maybe some brass or copper color on the bell to the thrusters. Probably some nice... I don't think I want to chrome these. I think I'm going to do like aluminum to this. And this kit will be in the books and will be up Monday night at 11:59 to be purchased and probably saved because you guys don't want to blow anything up, and I enjoy that.
Like, I think I don't know. Maybe we didn't communicate that there'll be gunpowder used.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, hey, it's on
If
them.
we tie the boats, can we do all of it?
We can figure out how to combine it.
Yeah, like I want to fill it with gunpowder, wrap it with fireworks,
and run it under a car.
and run it over.
No!
Blow your tire right off the car.
Hitting a landmine. It's a Saturn, not a Abrams. You know. Like,
I mean, it'll only be a makeshift IED, not like a real one. And it's plastic parts. We're not like filling it with pellets or anything.
I don't know why you guys have an obsession with my shitty car, but and I know I'm full aware that this is family viewers and my car's still shitty.
So, give you a little more idea. This will all be, or mostly be painted light blue. And this is the skirt here, breaking up that camo. Skirt on this side. So you see how that pattern's running. I don't want to bore you guys with. No,
That's how terrible.
there we go. This goes this way. I think it's just that.
Does he have any shooting?
You got a silver marker?
I actually did buy 2,
So
apparently.
put the Molotov back here, and then take the green. Can you paint this, please?
And I will give you guys updates as I finish
Would I have
painting
like
this
the
up.
box?
So
Okay.
I'll probably finish this
Where's my
leg
chrome
off
go?
here today.
Here.
And get this other leg
Where is
together.
it?
Oh, actually, I can't because I gotta get more tape. So Monday I will get some more tape.
So where are we
Pull all
supposed
this
to put
tape off of the joints. So as you can see, I
over the green.
taped all the joints off.
Oh, yeah.
And then paint the green over that.
These
So I
parts are
just
really
thought-
cool. These are the back of the feet.
Damn.
Damn, Daniel.
Oh, gosh. So showing Paul how bad I did. It's not the prettiest.
That's what we're looking like with feet on it. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Definitely, I will post up what you guys want to look at next. We can do either brush painting a kit or pre-shaded. We can talk about pre-shaded. But just to wrap up this one, for your seam sealing, something strong like to me is orange cap cement. Plenty of other hobby companies make some really strong stuff too. Because what you want to do is get the cement to melt the plastic enough so when you squeeze it together, you get a nice little bubble of plastic mix coming up. And that you can easily sand and get down. Then,
We're not going to see this guy all together.
I mean, I could pop them together, but he's not finished. Yeah. No point. I don't want to chip any paint. But, I mean, he's mostly together here. Then you get yourself some kind of like thin putty. You can either go milliput and make your own milliput slurry, which will be a little hot, or you can go water-based with some Vallejo plastic putty mixed with a little water, which is very accessible, obviously. And you mix that together, and you got a nice little thin mix so you can easily put on where you need it. So let's get this head together, though, because this looks funky if you don't have a head on it, right?
None of them get heads or hands, man. No head, no hands, no problem.
I was about to say, I'm like, if you say no service, you're wrong. I don't see those signs anymore, by the way.
No shirt, no shoes, no shirt,
Yeah,
no
there you
service.
go.
I don't think they care anymore. You have money. You're good.
There are no rules. Put your shirt back on. There's one rule.
That's what we're looking at. So a little more of this pattern going down with some masking, and we will have a finished kit looking pretty good. I am, and I'll let you guys know, I'm going to try to do the real fine white panel lines they did on here. That's going to be a problem. I might, because this part's painted, so I might have to do a reverse wash. The parts that aren't painted, that would be super simple, but this might get interesting.
And you know what would make it really interesting? You go to all that trouble
I think it's
and
blown up.
then yes. Can't wait to see.
So,
That is the whole point of this, though.
I know,
as you
but
can
it'd be
see,
so
all that white detail in the chest.
good. No, I thought the point was to teach people how to build stuff. Paint.
That's the great thing. There's so many points we can make. There's always the same, like, I can say anything is the point of it, and it's going to be accurate because we do so many things.
Could you please
Like-
vote to blow this kid up after he's
You
going
could
to do
ask
this
if
work?
we want to, throw a kid at Paul's head, and we could do it. Or you could say, hey, how do I mount a kid on the wall and
know-
make it look, awesome?
You know what the worst
And that
part
could
about
be the new
this
point
is?
of the show.
I agreed to do whatever for the show. If y'all want to throw a kid at Paul's head,
Yeah.
I would have to wear a helmet or something. You can't mess up the moneymaker, but we can do it.
All right, so that's all I got. You guys have to Monday at 11 p.m. to get your votes in, $1 a vote. Decide, do you give it a slow death, option A, which would be a string of firecrackers wrapped around this bad boy, just pop, 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 pop. Real battle damage.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Option B, we drill a hole through the backpack and through the chest, fill it with gunpowder, light that thing off. Or option C, we let this thing get run over by a car.
And most importantly, don't forget your points that you purchase for the voting process can also be utilized on swag from the store as
Right.
well as items, kits. Did we put any kits up this
The
week?
same kits are up there. You still got the new up there. You still got the Zaku FZ up there. And the Alex.
And then also, I'd like to put a special one, if you could add it there, a quarter stick of dynamite. No, we can't sell that online.
if you want to come out and do a kit, hit us up.
Yeah, definitely.
That way we don't have to see him all the time. Like, you know, mix it up.
All right, so Paul, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Instagram at Biggie Pauls.
We're at the kitchen on every Saturday.
That's likely true.
Go find him at Orca.
Captain Margot on Instagram or Twitter. One of those two.
All right, you can find the Gundam Kitchen on all the social medias. Usually with Gundam Kitchen somewhere in the name. So if you look up Gundam Kitchen, you will find me. And I will talk to you